Hi, everybody. It is February the 20th, Sunday, 2022, and this is Wes Fryer, and this is a little slideshow of updates that I put together for our Google certification group at school. We met on Thursday this past week, and I just thought I would record a short video version of this for folks who weren't there and anybody really interested. These are not just updates that relate to the Google teacher and educator certification process, but also just to Google products in general. And so, especially if you're an educator, these things may be of interest. So you can access this slideshow as well as these resources on our instructional support website for Cassidy School, which is at support.cassidy.org. So the first thing I shared was actually a website with a lot of resources from a recent conference that I attended at the Johnson Space Center in Houston, Texas. And that website is space.wesfryer.com. And with a few of these, I will just kind of pop out to show you these resources. This was a fantastic multi-day conference. It was actually the first time my wife and I have been to an educational conference in person in like 2 years since COVID. And I created this Google site as a way to kind of collect resources that I found. Probably one of the most important things to mention is that the STEM resource folks at NASA have created a new website called the STEM Gateway. It's a new learning community that's just getting going, and so that is wonderful to sign up for. Another thing that's great to sign up for is the NASA Express email. So this is a weekly email that NASA sends out. You can just Google NASA Express, or their website's nasa.gov/STEM/Express, and you can sign up to get that email. There are so many different resources that NASA is creating and sharing. So one of the things that I created, which does connect to Google and Google Tools, is a YouTube playlist for space exploration. I definitely think that using video and teaching with video is one of the most important skills that we need to have as teachers today in 2022. And so these are 20 different videos that were shared by different presenters. Maybe some of them, like this last one, from Physics Girl, I think I actually just added this last week on the theme of space exploration. But being able to create a playlist, being able to reorder it, being able to share it, it's a great skill to have, a great way to collect videos that we can use for a particular lesson or for a particular topic. It's a great Google skill to have. So you can find that link there. This first one that's just the star size comparison is incredible. It's an example of one of the things that I think is probably impossible to really adequately try and communicate without media and an animation. And anyway, it's just one of about 20 videos that were shared at the workshop. In addition to those things, I shared via Twitter a lot of different resources from the conference. And so if you go to this first Twitter post, I created what's called a thread. And so you can view a bunch of resources that are all underneath this particular thread. And so there's a lot of links, there's a lot of pictures, a lot of different resources. So again, I created this with a Google site, and Google Sites is part of Google Workspace, what used to be called Google Apps for Education. And so being able to create a web page like this, which is mobile friendly, it works well on a web browser, it works well on a mobile device, having images, videos, links, it's just awesome. So anyway, that's just a lot of resources that relate to space, but it was something that happened recently, and so I shared that at our meetup that we did. All right, so in addition to all those wonderful geeky space resources, I've put together several different links that my friend Jason Neiffer and I have discussed in about the last month or two on the web show and podcast that we create every Wednesday night called the EdTech Situation Room. This is a Chrome Unboxed article from back in October of 2020, but it is really something that not everybody knows and is really so powerful for especially organizing your Google files. And it's a program called the G Suite File Stream. This has had different iterations and versions. You can now use it with personal accounts. Originally, when Google File, what was called I think just Google File Stream or Google Drive File Stream, it was only for the enterprise account, like your school account. But what this allows you to do is use the file manager on the Mac, we call that the Finder, to organize your files. And just like when you install Dropbox on your computer, or you put a flash drive in, it creates this virtual drive that you can see all your files, but it doesn't download them all. It indexes them, and then as you choose to download them or you click to open them, they download, and so it doesn't take up a ton of space, which is important depending on the device you have, whether it's Chromebook or a regular Mac laptop or Windows laptop. Another update, this one was more recently from February the 1st, 2022, is that Gmail on the web got a really big visual overhaul. And this has come to both the enterprise version and the consumer version. They rolled those out a little bit differently. I won't play this video right now, but there's a nice little video from the Google Help website that talks about learning about that new layout. On that note, and talking about YouTube as well, it is fantastic to subscribe to different channels that relate to Google products and tutorials that can help us learn more and also share with students and teachers. This website that has over 2.1 million subscribers is the official Google Help channel. Now, they've got a lot of things that go beyond G Suite, but this is a really excellent website, and one of the things that I like to point out, I'll go ahead and visit the page here. When you visit the home page, you're going to see on a channel, and I might have to pause the default playing video. Nope, they don't have one. They don't have a featured video. They just have playlists. But again, this is why creating playlists is such a good essential skill. You can go into the playlist link on a channel like this and then find the things that relate or interest you most. Recovering your Google account in English. Here's a great topic. We all need to know how to do this. This is just 2 videos that are in that series, but you can have, a bunch of different videos, and being able to make sure you've got the settings correct before you get hacked or somebody, is successful in some identity theft with you. That's an important topic. So anyway, when you click on videos, you just see a sequential list of all the videos that have been created, but that playlist channel or that playlist link, I think, really is excellent. And again, it points to a skill that we can and should have as Google using educators, and that is how to use YouTube effectively. This is an article also from Chrome Unboxed, but from January 12th, 2022. Live captions are available in Google Meet in different languages. And so this is sort of getting closer and closer to the Star Trek Universal Translator. Google's got apps now, right, that can do some live translation, but being able to do that sort of captioning and then translate it on the fly can really be a wonderful thing, not only for language learners, but for teachers that are wanting to provide greater accessibility, which we should all be interested in that for our students. Being able to turn up captions in your native language or a language that you're trying to learn can really, really help comprehension, and that continues to get better and better. Google Drive has rolled out some new filters that are making the power of queries even more accessible because they're visual and you can just click visually to enable them. I'm going to go ahead and link to this article. This was from February 15th, so this is really new. And depending upon, and I'll zoom in here a little bit so you can see this better. This is a little animated graphic that they have. After you search, you have these drop downs to filter by file type, by the person it's from, the location, when it was modified, the titles. And then this is so cool. Now with Google Docs, you can have approvals, and so you can filter to see just the things that are waiting for your approvals. It's excellent. These are searches that you could do before just using the Omnibar in Google Drive, but I guess maybe that's not technically the Omnibar. The Omnibar is just the bar at the top of Chrome, but in the search field in Google Drive, you can still use that kind of syntax, but these buttons are shortcuts that'll help you do that. And so depending upon whether you're looking at your enterprise or your personal account, those may or may not be visible, but they should be rolling out soon to everybody, and I think that's excellent. Google Docs lets you create text watermarks. This isn't an example of something that's necessarily earth-shattering, but depending upon your context, this can be a good thing. So you go down to File Watermarks, and then you can type what you want to have, and there you can see in the background draft. you can have that go into the back of your document. So that's not something that requires a special extension or anything like that. You can just do that by default. Here is a fantastic channel I found for Google certification, specifically tips and tricks. John R. Soash has a channel with over 41,000 subscribers, and I won't play this video in the or his videos here, but I want to point out he has the website geducator.com, and he has free certification guides for like every Google certification that's available. And you can download those guides, just really, really excellent resources. He takes the tests for Google Certified Educator, both level 1 and level 2 every year, and he's got some great videos, but this guide is outstanding. And in fact, that's going to be something I'm going to download and use. I did earn my Google Certified Educator certification. I earned level 2 at the beginning of this year. I did level 1 last year. Really is a good process. They've changed that up. And on that note, John has some excellent videos. So this one is almost a year old. It's about 9 months old. But this was a 2021 update that he did to the level 1 Google Educator exam. I think that video is about 15 or 17 minutes long. Excellent, excellent detail about the kinds of tools and the kinds of questions that you need to have. At the time they made these changes, they did away with the scenarios actually and made everything multiple choice, which is kind of surprising. I'm sure that's easier to grade. But this is something dynamic that changes, and so you'll want to take a look at whenever you're watching this, what is Google doing now with their certification? But John is an excellent and outstanding resource. He's also got a video that he made for the level 2 exam that's a little bit shorter. I think that's about 6 minutes long. So highly recommend checking both of those videos out and then just seeing also what he's doing. So one of the things that Google doesn't have great tools for now, I know our school for 6th grade, we've got Chromebooks for everybody, one-to-one Chromebooks. We've actually licensed WeVideo as a commercial platform for students to be able to create videos. Adobe used to call it Spark. Now it's called the Creative Cloud Express. They have a great tool for creating videos. But this is an article that my friend Jason, who I again do a weekly podcast with, shared on 5 free online video editors that don't have watermarks or other hidden features. And so MasterShot, Video I Knew, Video Meme, SmartCut by Capwing, and VidMix are all different things that you can check out and see if that meets your needs. Again, WeVideo is the platform that it is free with limitations, but we actually do choose to license that at our school, and I think that's an essential platform to think about is how are your students creating video. I'm going to just put in Adobe CC Express. You can still put in spark.adobe.com and go to it, but it's adobe.com/express. And with any Google account, and you can do this with your enterprise Google accounts, my students for their conspiracies and culture wars media literacy unit, where we look at the Apollo moon landings and YouTubers and others that say it was a hoax, and we learn the SIFT media literacy framework for how to dig into the source and get in for more information and read laterally, all this great stuff. This is the product that we use to create our culminating videos for that unit, Adobe Express. But all of that to say, a really important tool to figure out, hey, how are we helping our students do this with Google tools? And it doesn't mean it has to be by Google, but like on our Chromebooks, is a video editor. And that's not something that Google provides natively. So last thing, I have my 3rd TEDx talk published this last month, and it's called Technology Fear Therapy. So I threw the link in there if people want to check that out. It's about 17 minutes long. It was in March of last year. So those are some updates for our Google certification group, and more generally just about Google. If you'd like, you can always check out the web show that I do with Jason Neiffer. It's called the EdTech Situation Room. You can find that on edtechsr.com. And if you're also just interested in connecting with me, you can visit my website, wesleyfryer.com. Been in the midst of applying for jobs, and so I've updated a bit of this. And if you go to my homepage and click on Let's Connect, it'll allow you to link to my contact form if you don't want to use Twitter to contact me. But you can also click on this link that has all of my social media places where I'm sharing, and so you can check that out. So hope that was helpful to you. Wish you luck, and reach out if you got any questions. Take care. Have a great day.